Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. We have with us Robert Reilly. He is the author of a brand new book, Making Gay Okay. Robert served in the White House as special assistant to the president until 1985. He was an advisor to the U.S. Secretary of Defense until 2006. His previous book is The Closing of the Muslim Mind, How Intellectual Suicide Created the Modern Islamic Crisis. And I wanted Robert to come on today. His brand new book, Making Gay Okay, How Rationalizing Homosexual Behavior is Changing Everything. Very, very, mamma mia, interesting book. Robert, good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a delight to be with you this morning.
I totally appreciate you being here. How do the gays rationalize? How do they do that?
They do it the way the rest of us do when we've decided to do something that we know is wrong, but we can't do it until we present it to ourselves as something that is right. Aristotle explains in the Ethics the little psychological dynamo that we have to go through in order to choose evil. We have to make up an imaginary world in which the evil becomes a good, so that I really can steal the other person's possessions, but it won't really be stealing. I'll be taking back my own. Or I can take the other man's wife because really he never loved her and I do. You know, the rationalizations go on forever. The unique thing regarding the homosexual rationalizations for their misbehavior is when they decide to make it the centerpiece of their lives. It's as if one wished to be a professional thief, so one had to rationalize stealing on a permanent basis in one's moral imagination.
Yeah.
So too does someone who wants to make sodomitical acts or sodomitical marriage the centerpiece of life. They have to then create a more permanent rationalization, making this profoundly morally disordered act into a good act.
Very interesting.
The thing is, that's just part of the job. They can do that for themselves, but it won't really work unless they can persuade those around them that this rationalization is really true.
Yeah, I was going to say the system does not accept this rationalization for the most part, right?
See, that's exactly the problem. Unless they can universalize the rationalization, they're always in danger. The rationalization is always in danger. And as a consequence of which, all the guilt that would normally accrue to their behavior would then come crashing in on them. So they have to evangelize for their rationalization and tell everybody that gay is good and that sodomy is a perfectly fine and moral act as long as you love the person.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time that homosexuals who are pushing this know that they are wrong. Inside, within themselves, they have guilt. And they think that if they can convince the world that homosexuality is normal, then the guilt would go away. But I believe that the guilt will still be there because it's wrong, even if everybody says that it's right.
But you're already there. You've diagnosed this whole thing absolutely correctly. This is a process by which to get rid of guilt by killing one's conscience, and the only way you can successfully do it is if you get everyone to agree to the rationalization. You universalize it. You do that by campaigning, and then when you get to the point of success that they have today, you get the levers of government, of the courts, of the executive branch, and enforce the rationalization through the power of the government.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't want to cater a homosexual wedding, if someone doesn't want to make a floral arrangement for a homosexual wedding, they're the ones who are persecuted. Those are the ones who are sued, and they have had to pay some hefty fines or face jail time. So enforcement is the last step in enforcing the rationalization.
But the folks who are enforcing these laws, and are they pretending to think that homosexuality is normal? Are they doing it just for the money and power? Or have they been convinced that homosexuality is fine or that is normal?
Well, as Malcolm Muggeridge said, people do not believe lies because they have to. They believe them because they want to. And they want to believe these lies because those lies allow them to engage in their preferred behavior. And that's why when you argue with someone in the homosexual movement, they're not arguing with you to reach the truth. They're arguing with you so they can continue their behavior. And they will do it either by out-screaming you and shutting you up, or changing the conversation in such a way that it never reaches its conclusion.
Yes.
So that's the social dynamics of this thing that are going on. And to everyone's surprise, the success has reached the point that in our foreign policy, the Gay Pride Day flag is flying over our embassies.
I spoke of that. I saw that in Israel, where they have the gay flag, so-called gay pride flag, right underneath the American flag there.
I saw it in the U.S. Embassy in Madrid because my wife is Spanish, and there was the gay flag flying under the U.S. flag. And I just thought, are the Marines there? Is the Marine detachment supposed to salute that?
That's amazing. You quote someone that said, every evil is its own good.
Yeah, Hilaire.
And you also say that calling homosexuality good is like calling euthanasia life, or calling partial birth abortion love. I thought those examples were so good.
They do, but that's nothing I made up. I'm just quoting people who actually did those things as samples of how rationalizations for moral misbehavior fundamentally distort reality. They create a false reality that gives their behavior a new context in which they can say it's good. Now, any normal operating person would most likely recover. Reality would reassert itself, and they'd say, oh, my heavens, look what I've done. I did this bad thing. Now I admit to myself it was bad. I'm going to make restitution for it and repent. And so moral reality is restored, and
yes,
life continues. But when you make the rationalization permanent, you then have to universalize it, and that's what the culture war is about. And we're at the latter stages of that war, now that they are seizing the power in the government in order to enforce the rationalization on all of us.
I sometimes wonder, is it, well, I don't wonder, I think I know already, is it fair to the homosexuals, for those people who know that is wrong, is it fair to them to go along with it knowing that the homosexuals are suffering from this, and should we just be honest with them and hope that they will overcome? I'll let you answer that when we come back, Robert, from this break. 888-7753-773.